So the next page is talking about a chord. It's called the G7 chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn a very simplified version of the G7 chord. So don't look at this and think that this is the G7 chord and the correct way, the full correct way to play it. This is going to be a simplified version just to get your fingers comfortable with playing two different chords. And this is actually a common way to play G7 chord. So when you're playing it, you're not, be assured that you're playing something that is correct in its form. It's a simplified version of it. So with that said, I'm going to go on and we'll move on to learning the new G7 chord. So have your page up there, and it has a diagram of somebody's hand. It also has a diagram of the keyboard itself. You can see that the C, where your pinky is right here for your left hand. We're working with left hand. And then your 1 and 2, where your C is located with your left hand in the C chord position or C position, the G7 chord is pressing the thumb and the second finger. Okay, so you're not moving out of position at all. You're just going to be using your first and second finger. So super easy. It's easier than playing the C chord. The challenge is going from C chord to G7 and then G7 again back to C chord. But you will find in time, in a very little time, it doesn't take a long time at all to feel comfortable moving back and forth. So let's just do that together right now. Let's find the G7 chord. So put your hand in your C position with your left hand as if you're going to play your C chord, and you're going to press thumb and second finger. Super easy. Okay, now this is where your brain likes to play tricks on you. Your brain and your fingers and all those neural pathways that try to coordinate everything. You would think that going from here to here would be super simple. And it might be for you, but for most people, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from G7, and then we're going to tell your brain that you're just going to play your thumb again and the pinky. Okay, that way you know what it feels like for the thumb and the pinky, right? And when you're ready, add the third finger. So you're going back and forth. Okay, so again, start by going from the G7, the two fingers to two fingers, okay? And what they have in common is the thumb. These little tiny techniques and tricks really help with the progress. It helps you move forward faster when you know these little tricks. So going straight to this, it's a little bit challenging, but going from here to here is not, okay? Go ahead, just keep doing that on your own. I'll give you a couple more seconds. Just play around with that as I talk. You can go ahead and keep playing around with going back and forth. So you know you can play the G7 and you know you can play the C chord. Just keep going back and forth. Now I wanted to show you what they look like on paper. Okay, so you know what the C chord looks like. Here's what the G7 chord looks like. And notice it looks just like it looks when you're playing it on the piano. They're right next to each other. Okay, so this note here, this circle on top, is this, it's the same one that's in common with your C chord, right? That's the G, that's your thumb. So that's a G, it's a space note. And right next to it is a line note. That's the F. That's the number 2 finger that you play on the keyboard. So here's the G and here's the F. And the F is a line note. Okay. The more detail you remember and the more detail that you train your eyes to see, the better the progress for you will be so much more smoother. Okay, so here we go with just combining the C chords and G7 chords together. So we're going to go ahead and play this together. Remember, imagining that your thumb is glued to G will really help you go switch back and forth, because you have the G in common. Your thumb is in common with both chords. Okay, so whether you're playing it as the C chord without the middle at first, or the C chord with the middle, the thumb is going to be played with each of these chords, C chord and G7 chord. Everything you can find in common with each other helps you also with learning a song. So I'm going to count to 3, get your left hand in position, and let's play this together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Change. Tick, tock, 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 tick, tock. Okay, so this exercise just helps you go back and forth, and the next couple pages also gives you more exercises to help you with switching back and forth. Okay, the next 2 songs, Smooth and Steady and Switchback Trails. Smooth and Steady, all it is your chords going back and forth, counting, and Switchback Trails. It switches back and forth even more than, like here you have like 3 C's in a row and then 3 G7s in a row. Here you're switching more often. C chord, G7, C chord, G7. Did I say something wrong? Correct me, Jay, if I said something wrong.
You said there's only 3 in each one of those top ones.
3? What? My husband, he keeps me on track sometimes. Sometimes I say things and they don't make sense. So, did I say something?
Yeah, you said there was only 3 beats on each one of those top ones.
3 beats? Oh.
Or 3 notes.
Okay. Well, whatever I said that didn't make sense, ignore it. So use these 2 songs to practice looking at the music and switching back and forth and counting. But if you can't switch back and forth smoothly, practice switching back and forth before you play the songs. Okay? Then you'll feel so much more confident that you can just sit down and play these. Okay, we're moving right along. You're doing such a great job. Your practice assignment now is going to be the next 3 songs, Smooth and Steady, Switchback Trails, and my first real song. And now I have some words of wisdom for you. I wanted to have you think about the piano for a minute and the reasons why that you like playing piano. There are so many benefits of playing piano. One is that you get to spend time on your own by yourself with no distractions. Hopefully you're creating a space that you don't have any distractions, but it serves as a type of a meditation time. When you're focused on meditation means focusing on one thing. And when you're learning something new, it's hard to think about something else. You're actually calming your brain down and getting it laser focused on one thing so that it's not whirling around and thinking about all different things. So it is a form of meditation, and as you know, or maybe you don't know, but science shows that taking that meditation time for just a few minutes a day has a lot of health benefits. And so that's one reason to come to the piano and play on a regular basis. Think of it as your meditation time, as a time to reset your brain. And it's also a learning time, and it's also you time. So that's one of the reasons. And as we go through the lessons together, I will talk about more benefits of piano. One other benefit that I will talk about right now is that when you're playing and you are, for example, if you're playing, especially something new, and you're feeling just a little bit frustrated, piano also teaches you to to push on and push forward. You don't get up and leave the piano when just you have a little bit of a challenge. You work yourself through it. In the case that you get really frustrated and you're just spiraling down, then I do recommend leaving the piano for a little bit and come back later. But in general, when you're learning something new and you're hitting little snags, work your way through it, and know that it takes just a few repetitions to straighten out whatever challenge that you're trying to overcome at the piano. And you know what? How you do everything, or how you do anything, is how you do everything. And eventually, as you're training yourself to overcome little challenges at the piano, that will bleed over into other parts of your life, and you will learn to also be more open to working through other things in your life. So those are just a couple little things I wanted to share with you today, because piano just isn't about piano. It's about you. It's about so much more. So with that